New System Inventory Valuation Setup. Once your entire parts inventory, all of your parts on hand, has been entered into your new MaxxTraxx program, the corresponding parts valuation should be entered on your general ledger if you're using the accounting in MaxxTraxx. The first step is to run the inventory valuation report for all your parts and cores. Note, some shops will need to run multiple reports if they're tracking their inventory with separate product codes in more than one general ledger account. We'll review that scenario in a moment. Let's see how to do this. Click on the Reports icon, select Inventory under Category, and select Inventory Valuation under Report Name, and click Run Report, or just double-click on the report name itself to run the report. This filter window will open. Leave the filter options on the defaults: Summary Report, All Parts, All Manufacturers, and All Category Groups, and click OK. This report is actually looking at every single part record in MaxxTraxx and multiplying the quantity on hand times the average cost in each part record, totaling all those amounts up to get a total inventory valuation. This includes parts on open repair orders and parts invoices. The dollar amount in black is your inventory valuation. If you have any negative part quantities on your parts list, maybe parts on open repair orders that need to be stocked before they're sold, those parts quantities times their average cost will be totaled and displayed in red, like on my report. Just minus the negative, see the minus sign? From the positive in black, see the plus sign? And this is the inventory valuation amount to be entered on your general ledger in the 13,000 inventory parts account. As I mentioned, maybe you have assigned different product codes for your parts with different general ledger asset, income, and cost of goods sold accounts assigned to those product codes, so you can track your parts separately on your general ledger. For example, I track my tire inventory, sales, and costs with a tire product code that tracks these totals in separate accounts on my general ledger. All my tires with a tire product code are tracked on my general ledger in their own inventory account, the 13,100 account. In this scenario, after we get the total inventory valuation, like we just did, we would then run an inventory valuation for the tire product code. Subtract this amount from the total inventory valuation, and then we would enter those amounts separately into their respective inventory accounts, 13,000 for general inventory and 13,100 for my tire inventory. Repeat this process for each separate product code only if that product code is tracking your parts inventory in another account on the general ledger other than the default general inventory asset account, 13,000. We then would run an inventory cores valuation. MaxxTraxx manages core quantities on rebuilt parts in each part record, and the cores are tracked in the 13,200 inventory cores account on the general ledger, unless you've customized MaxxTraxx to do it otherwise. From the toolbar, click Reports, Inventory, and select Core Valuation this time. And I only have one new core and one used core in my MaxxTraxx. So this number here is my core inventory valuation. I track my new and used cores in a single general ledger account, 13,200 for simplicity, and MaxxTraxx is set to track new and used cores together in this account by default. Once we have these valuation numbers, enter them on the general ledger. Please see the General Ledger Setup training video for instructions on how to enter these totals on your general ledger. One final inventory valuation entry. MaxxTraxx may have made entries to the 56,000 inventory adjustment account when you are entering your quantity on hand. So do one additional beginning general ledger balance entry to zero the 56,000 account after all of your parts quantity on hand for new system inventory have been entered into the system. Getting your physical inventory on hand into MaxxTraxx should be your first priority before writing customer invoices, but sometimes this is just not realistic. So try to get your entire parts inventory into MaxxTraxx as soon as possible, and then make those adjustments to clear out the 56,000 inventory adjustment account, because that 56,000 account is where real inventory adjustments, like if we damage a part or lose a part, are tracked, posting this cost of doing business on your income and expense statement. And this concludes the lesson on new system inventory valuation setup.